I've created this small website, fmdlog.com, to help people follow the Fasting Mimicking Diet, also known as the FMD diet. Now, I think this is a great diet, but it's tough to follow because you need to have a certain percentage of your calories come from fat, protein, and carbohydrates. That's kind of tricky to do. I'll show you how this website can help you with that. To start with, go out to your browser, and up here in the URL field, type in fmd.log. That'll bring you to the home page of my website. Okay, now if you're new to the fasting mimicking diet and you haven't heard much about it, although my guess is if you're here you already know quite a bit about it, but I do have a couple articles. One listed off this link here. This one here has a number of really good recipes, and a link here on the navigation bar that also tells you a lot about the diet. But assuming you know about the diet and you're ready to start, first thing you do here is go and click on register/login. Type in your username, pick any name you like, email address, and by the way, I only have a handful of people. Obviously, you're one of them now that's using this. It's kind of a beta test, and even after I get going, I will be not doing anything with email, so your email is safe with me. Enter a password, retype it here to confirm it, and then click on register. What will happen then is you'll get an email sent to the address you put here. That'll have a link. Click on that link. That'll send you to this page where you type in the username you gave, the password, then click on login. Okay, now you're back to the home page where you started, only now you have this line here saying you are currently logged in as whatever you picked for a username. Okay, now the first thing you need to do is create a food database. To do that, you click on Create Food Database link in the navigation bar here. And actually, you'll start out, let me delete it all, you'll start out with a empty database, look like this. And so you want to load it up with foods that you regularly eat. We'll start, click on Add Food, and let's say you pick like an apple. Okay, and now to find these nutrition values for an apple, you can go out to the web and just type in apple nutrition, and you'll have plenty of links that'll tell you everything you need to know. Right here you can see there's 95 calories, 0.3 grams of fat, 25 grams of carbohydrates, 2 milligrams of sodium, 0.5 grams of protein. So come back to the page, fill in 95 grams of, or 95 calories, 0.3 grams of fat. By the way, you just hit the tab key here and you go to the next field. 25 grams of carbohydrates, 0.5 grams of protein, and 2 milligrams of sodium. Now, the FMD diet does not track sodium, so you can just ignore this field if you want. I like to keep track of it for myself, so I use it, but it's just an optional field here. You click on Add, and then you can continue adding foods. My experience has been it's easiest just to kind of do these day by day. In other words, each day when you decide what you're going to eat or what you may eat, go out, look them up, and fill them in instead of doing them all at once. And after a couple weeks or so, you pretty much will find that everything you need is there, and you seldom have to add new foods. You come back, I show you what I did there. You click on the return to view, update, delete page to get back to your database. You have all the foods here that you just entered. Now, if you want to get kind of a jump start to this, I have a sample database. It's actually the database that I use You can just load that by clicking on this, and you see whatever you picked is in there, but also you have all the ones that I've added. Now, a lot of these you may never use, so you can just go over here and click on delete to get rid of the ones you don't want, and this may give you a starting point. If you go out and look through my database and decide you really don't want hardly any of them, you can always click the delete all. That will get rid of everything, but just beware that that will also get rid of any entries that you've made. So you might want to first look at the sample database, decide if you want it before you start adding foods, because if you want to get rid of it by clicking delete all, it will get rid of everything you put out there also. I'm going to go back and load the sample database. And let me show you the next thing you do. After you've got a few foods out here you're going to use, next thing you're going to do is list the foods that you're going to eat today. Okay, click on list today's foods. And you see so far we have 0 calories and 0 entries. So we're going to add servings. It's time for breakfast. For breakfast, I usually have a couple slices of bread, and we'll say today I have some oat nut, and I'll have 2 slices of bread, and I like to toast that with a little butter, and I usually put a tablespoon on, which is 3 teaspoons, so we'll put 3 here. And let's go back and look and see how we're doing. Okay, if I have that for breakfast, you can see I've used 345 calories for the day so far. And the way this works is, as you can see, on day 1 from the Fasting Mimicking Diet, you can have 1,090 calories. On day 2 to 5, you can have 725 calories. So this means if we're on day 1, we have 745 calories left for the day we can use. 2 through 5, we only have 380. Okay, so depending on which day of the diet you're on, you use these fields and this field to see how you're doing and what you have left for the day. The other thing that's important about this, probably the most important thing, is the recommendations for the diet. On day 1, your carbs should be 34% of what you eat, fat 56%, protein 10%. Days 2 through 5, your carbs should be 47%, fat 44%, protein 9%. This is the part where this diet really helps. You can see right now, if I'm on days 2 to 5, I'm doing pretty good here. I got 48% carbs, supposed to have 47. Fat, I have 43, supposed to have 44. And protein, I'm right on the mark. So this does help. Now let's say I'm actually on day 1. Now, if I'm on day 1, I'm a little high on the protein and low on the fat. So let's say I need to get rid of some of the carbs. I can edit this, go back to 1 serving of oat nut bread, 1 slice, update that. Now, as you can see, my carbs are down to 36%, much closer to day 1. Fat 57, much closer. Protein a little bit low, not too bad. So this is why the best thing to do is always add your servings before you eat, and then you can make adjustments as needed depending on your calorie count and how your carbs, fat, and protein are breaking down. Let's move along. It's time for lunch now. Before I eat lunch, I come out here. Let's see, I'm going to have a salad. Go down here and enter salad. Now, the way I enter a salad, you can do this your own way. Some of you may like to just have an egg separate out there with the nutrient values in it, the peppers, the carrots, whatever, all listed separate. What I did, I made about a 10-cup salad, and then I add up all the protein, fat, and carbs, divide it by 10, because how many cups I had, and then I know that large bowl for 1 cup of it, I have the required nutrients listed. So now I just need to put in how many cups I have. Let's say I had 2 cups. Add that. Salad dressing, I like the Olive Garden signature. We'll have 1 serving of that, which is 2 tablespoons. Okay, and let's see how we're doing for lunch so far. Oh, I usually have something to drink to. Let me add in a good diet beverage, which is a can of V8 juice. Put in 1 of those. It's only 70 calories. Let's see how we're doing. Okay, now, if we're on day 1, we have 621 calories left. See, so far we've taken in 469. If it's day 2 through 5, we only have 256 calories left. And let's look how our percentages are breaking down. 37% carbs, 52 fat, 11 protein. So we can see our carbs are a little low, fat a little high, protein a little low. So as we can come out and mess with this and make some adjustments here, or we could wait, and when we have dinner, our last 256 calories, we can eat something that will make the proper adjustments here. Now, when you're looking for food, for example, here we're seeing that, well, our carbs are a little low if it's day 2 through 5. Fat a little high. Now, if it's day 1, we're actually doing pretty good, but day 2 through 5, we would have to make some adjustments. So before we eat our dinner, we can go out and look at our database, scroll down here, and look at the fat, carbs, protein, and pick something, like obviously my dressing was high in fat. If I put something with olive oil, obviously I can really crank up the fat without affecting anything else. Bread is high in carbs. So you can kind of learn to do that, and you can make adjustments as you go and test it out by listing it in the daily servings before you eat it, and make the proper adjustments. Now, one other point here, when I'm not on the 5-day fast, I like to keep my calories under 2,000. It's you're not really going to lose a lot of weight doing that, but it keeps me from binging, and that way I do the 5-day fast once a month, and I found by keeping my calories under 2,000 the other days of the month, I'm actually losing a little weight month to month. So I've added one other field here, and that is remaining calories for the normal day, not on the Fasting Mimicking Diet. And if it's a normal day, I got 1,531 calories left. Okay, so on those days, I watch this until it gets to 2,000. Obviously, if you would prefer a different number, let's say 1,500 calories, you could just watch this. When it gets to 1,500, you're done. And you can obviously watch I didn't mention sodium here. You can keep an eye on your sodium too if you're like me and have a problem with high blood pressure. You want to watch your sodium. You can keep an eye on that while on the 5-day fast or the rest of the month also. I think I've covered most of the information. By the way, this tutorial I'm going through right now is listed here if you want to see it again. If you want to see pretty much the same information in text form, some people prefer that, you can click on this. It gives you this information out here. If you're at the home page, you can contact me if you notice I have an error or a problem with the website, or any comments or suggestions. I would appreciate it. Just click here and you can send me an email. When you're done for the day, you just click on log out. Takes you out of the website. So good luck and have fun with it.